Alright, so we are back. I did have to reboot. And actually, I need to get something else up on my screen that I didn't get up. Hold on just a second. There we go. Alright, so I don't know exactly what's going on. We are going to have an ad break right up. Yeah, I had a frozen camera feed. I could not get it back up. I think like, some data was coming in from the camera because both OBS and the camera application itself, like the camera application wouldn't fully initialize, and both of them I had to force close, both OBS and the camera application. So we'll see how this goes. If it has a problem again, then we're probably going to have to, call it early. But hopefully we can go to the end of the stream tonight. And, like, yeah. Okay. Frame rate seems okay now. I don't know what was going on. Frame rate seemed not so great. Like, it would only pick up a couple of these frames. Didn't seem to like fast motion. But it's okay now. But yeah, that probably means you guys can get new streaks. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Alright, I have no idea where we were in conversation, so sorry about that. Hopefully it won't be an issue. I'm not super happy with this camera anyway, so I wouldn't mind getting a new one, but they're not cheap. And I do have to pay for... I have no idea how much it's going to cost to fix my car. Whatever the problem is. And just had a issue with plumbing. So... Don't say that, Gilded Tongue. Remember what happened last year around this time? Luckily, next week looks like it's actually going to be pretty clear, weather-wise. I'm joking, of course. I mean, that was a record-setting rainstorm. It is certainly possible that it will that we will one day have something like that again. But hold on, oops. Yeah, I missed that. There's a few other pieces to put on here. I mean, I got over 4 inches of rain. It's a lot. Howdy again, Viber Bunny. How's it going? Hopefully we are back for good for the rest of the stream. Okay, there we go. Got those on. Now we can get 2x2 slope, 1x3 arch. I had so much rain last week that flood warnings were sent out. Yeah, flood warnings are pretty common around here for heavy rains, but that's partly because it only takes like an inch in some places. So, Kincheer, what did you do for that Klondike bar? Alright, lots more tiles. Got tornado warnings last week. Yeah, we get a few here and there, too. I mean, I don't think we'd ever had 4 inches of rain in the time period that we got that. Like, 4 inches of rain over a couple days, that's not going to cause the problem that I had. It was the 4 inches of rain in, like, an hour. Alaska got a tornado, huh? Yeah, we had those on Tuesday as well, but didn't amount to anything. It was a lot. It wasn't as bad as I think they expected. Although there were some areas that got a lot of rain. I don't know. Not around me, though. Yeah, we get a few every year. Not enough for it to be, you know, they're usually pretty weak and stuff, so. Of course, I say that having not lost anything in a tornado, but... Yeah, it's pretty rare. I'm pretty sure it's more common where I am even than Alaska. It's a good thing weather prediction is pretty good these days. Got a couple tornadoes west of there this week, thanks to a very out-of-season weather system. And it's certainly the weather for it, the season for it right now up here. I think rare still is Alaska getting hit by a typhoon hurricane. Well, that season is just ramping up now, so for out here on the East Coast. 25 degrees Celsius in southern Brazil in the winter. That's... I don't know what the normal is, but it is winter, so... I don't think the southern hemisphere gets as cold, or at least I think the land masses aren't as far south, kind of thing. 7 now. Do you want to trade? It's actually not too bad here right now. Just I don't know. I don't like it. I want it cold. I'd rather have cold. Tired of heat. Alright, down here we get that corner piece. 1x1 plate. 1x2. That's about what it is right here, Bahamut. Alright, more tiles. 2x4 right there. Another flower plate. I'd take wind. Wind is lovely. All right. Haven't used those yet. Because we're doing it now. All right. There we go. One by 5, 1 by 1. We get a 1 by 2 up here. Another 1 by 1 cylinder tile. You can have the 22 mile per hour winds you had with 44 gusts? Yeah, that's fine. I'd take that. Oh. I was like, I wasn't seeing this piece. It's because I put it there, and it goes there, and we get the 1 by 1 tile there. All right. Now, yellow 3L axle and a white 1 by 1 tiles. I'd lose my hat? No, I wouldn't. Because I don't wear one. Can't lose your hat if you're not wearing one. All right, there we go. Spare parts. We got a tan 1 by 1 tile slope. Should actually look, because we've had a few of those. Nope. Nope. All right, so, yeah, tan 1 by 1 tile slope, trans light blue 1 by 1 quarter cylinder tile, and 2 gold one rings. There we go. I am a man without hat. It is true. But no, I am not doing the safety dance. I am building Lego. They may look similar. I can understand that it might be hard to tell sometimes. You don't know what my feet are doing? That's true, you don't. And you're not going to. Actually, I'm wearing MC Hammer pants right now, and they are dancing to you can't touch this. Just spinning my whole body around right under the table there. After all, you spin me right round record baby, right round like a record baby, right round, round, round. All right, that goes on there. And that goes on... Oh. That goes on there. There we go. You knew it. If there are 2 of them, wouldn't that be the 2 ring? No, because they're 2 1 rings. Can't have a 2 ring. You could have a toe ring. You can have a one-toe ring. But that's also weird. Alright, let's see. Getting some tiles on. Oh, all the way up here. Okay, let's start at the top here. Nope, not right there. Right there. There we go. One, two, three, four, five. Yep. One, two, three, four, five. Okay, right there. One, two, three. One, two, and three. And then we get our 1x2 decorated tile on there. And another one of these guys. Two more. Get you in there. Yep, alright. 1x2s. You are going down here. This isn't beige, this is tan. Jeez. This is beige. Lego names them incorrectly. Oh, there we go. A 1x1 cylinder tile. There it is. Right up here. And a 2x4 plates. Right there. Oh wait, nope. That goes up there. Goes there. And this goes right there. What's the blandest color? I don't know, hard to say. I guess it depends on what you mean by bland. I am back, Minor Trader. Like, how does one define a bland color? Because in the right contexts, most colors are pretty good. You know, give something a good accent. Okay, there we go. Now we get this one here. I mean, to a certain extent, you know, a lot of people will probably call a bland color something that they just don't like, you know? If you don't like a color, then you will probably consider it bland. Like, my gut went to yellow, because I'm not a big fan of yellow. Alright, so we got our castle wall piece. That in there. Yeah, boring, not very stimulating. I mean, if you use enough of it, then, you know, gray and beige and stuff, those are going to be, you know, those will probably be considered pretty bland. But if it's just like, you know, you get something in as an accent, you know, or you have some nice accent colors to go with it, I don't know that it would be bland. Silver is rather bland? I don't know. It's shiny. I mean, if the whole thing was silver, then, you know, it'd be kind of blinding. You like silver dragons? Yeah, there you go. See, it'd be hard to pick. I'd have a hard time picking a bland color just because, you know, you could. It's more in like how you use it than its own existence, I feel like. I mean, there can be bland creatures. TWSS? I don't know what that means. Elmore and his Mirror Sheen Silver Dragons? No? A lot of people did Mirror Sheen Silver Dragons because they're silver. There's also Chromium Dragons. Silver has a gentle elegance that goes with most anything. Yeah, see? But at the same time, if it's like all silver, it'd be a bit much, you know? Why are none of the other metal dragons so polished? There are definitely polished gold dragons. Howdy, Roval Jacks. How's it going? Bronze, copper, and brass don't often have quite the same shine to them. I guess maybe brass does. According to stories, dark blue and or dark red are the colors that draw the eye the least, whereas green and yellow are eye attractors. The human eye is designed to be able to see green better. That's one reason why night vision stuff tends to be in shades of green. A legacy of evolving amongst the trees. Just be careful, the chromium tends to chip off. Luckily, not many of mine have chipped off. Just gotta be careful. Okay, we're making the wall that goes here, I believe. There are some pretty large single-celled creatures. Like the size of grapes. You want to recreate the elf class from basic D&D or the My Star arcade games in AD&D? What classes kits would you think fit the elf class best? Fighter mage. Like, it's basically just a fighter mage. Okay. Wall goes on there. And we get the angled corners there. Bet they taste disgusting, though, unlike grapes. I don't know. Not even the character kits? No, I don't. I can't think of anything that quite fits. I mean, the Beckme elf class is good at pretty good at fighting and pretty good at magic. I don't know what its, you know, magic advancement and Thaco advancement are, but I haven't looked at that in a very long time. But that's basically what it is. That's kind of why multi-classing exists, more so than anything else, because the halfling and the dwarf are basically just fighters. Beckme classes don't exactly have a whole lot of flair to them. I don't think... I think I looked at it once and they don't have any thieving skills. I think they're just fighters. They might have some, like, non-thief-based stealth or something like that. Like, it's been a long time since I played any actual D&D. Original D&D Beckme kind of thing. I learned with it, but it was very quickly was I was playing AD&D with other people, so. All right. That goes there. That goes there. Those there. All right, 2x2 corner tiles. And 1x3 tiles. That goes right there. Okay, I missed the brazier, didn't I? I did. Okay, and that goes right in there. There we go. All right. Spare parts: white 1x1 tile slope, white 1x1 plate, gray 1x1 plate flower, dark gray 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg, and a trans orange candle feather flame piece. There we go. All right, bag number 23 next. You've only played computer console versions of Classic. You crawl halflings having something like half skill on the stealth part of thieves, dwarves having half skill on traps, contraptions of thieves. They might. I don't think they have, like, actual thief skills. Like I said, it has been a while. There we go. But yeah, for the full range of thief skills in Beckme, you need a human. It's kind of weird that in first edition, like, every class had level limits except for the thief. Like, every race could be unlimited in thief. I always found that kind of weird. Beckme has characters getting asked the question, do you want to pursue immortality? Sure, we all do. That's why you wanted to preface that you only played the digital versions. That's probably reasonably accurate. I don't remember looking at it. I was just surprised to see that they didn't have the full range of thief skills, or at least close to it. Then again, in Beckme, you wouldn't be able to allocate points, so they might have just said, you know, these skills as a thief of half the level, and I didn't pay enough attention to notice that. But I don't think elves have any thief skills. Would character kits override multi-classes? No. Generally, generally you can't take a kit if you're multi-classed. Oops. Yep, I missed a couple pieces here. There are specifically some multi-class kits, like the Elven Spell Filcher in the Complete Book of Elves is a Mage Thief. Can you dual class with kits? Yes, but that's a human-only thing. Like, if you are a noble fighter, you know, you have the noble kit, and after a while you want to dual class into a mage, you don't lose that kit because you don't, like, there's no, there's no, like, you're not advancing in the class anymore anyway, so the penalties would still apply, but, you know, and the benefits would still apply to the class. Gnome Illusion Thief? No, the Spell Filcher is a elf. It's an elf kit. It's only for elves. So there are other kits. There are kits in the Complete Book of Gnomes and Halflings for Illusionist Thieves. There is the Image Maker, which is what I'm completely blanking on his name right now. I'm sorry. Diamond Worm's character, Lankus. He is an image maker kit. It makes his illusions more believable, but he loses 2 additional schools. So he only has access to 3 schools. Kits, you were thinking subclasses? There's no subclasses in AD&D. Or everything is a subclass, because the default class, like the you've got warriors, wizards, priests, and rogues. Those are the class groups, and technically everything is a subclass of those, but you can't actually be a warrior. Like, just a warrior, not rather than a fighter kind of thing. There were subclasses in AD&D First Edition. At least that's what they were called. But it was kind of silly. Initially, Ranger and Paladin were subclasses of fighter. Then with Unearthed Arcana, Paladins, I believe, became subclasses of Cavalier. Or it was the other way around. Not positive. One or the other. It was weird. Unearthed Arcana is weird. It's a weird, weird book. Yeah, the first edition Bard, also extremely weird. Much prefer the 2E Bard. Maybe the weirdness was why it was originally buried. It wasn't buried, it was just at the back because it was an appendix. It's not buried. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, to be able to multi-class, I mean, not multi-class, dual-class and all that, you had to have really, really good stats. You were joking about the name Unearthed Arcana? Okay, but it's not in our Unearthed Arcana, it's in the player's handbook. So I didn't connect that. I don't think it counts as buried. Like, it was optional. It was a complex mechanism. It deserves its own place rather than being in with the regular classes. Better to put that in an appendix than, like, just gunk up the class section. Ah, gotcha. You weren't specifically talking about the bard? My misunderstanding. Psionic abilities in 1E were very wonky. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't looked at the specific mechanics of it all. Some of the basic structure of it was kept in 2E Psionics, but I know there were big changes. Very weird. Howdy, Shield of Hope. How's it going? Luckily, we did get 2E Psionics. Second dropped Charisma. No, that was Comeliness. Comeliness is the one where you could just outright charm people. Let's just say that was kind of, you know, based on women being extremely beautiful, and thus men would just do what they want. Luckily, that didn't last into 2E as well. Doing well, that's good. Yeah, so Unearthed Arcana had a 7th ability score that could go negative. Like a non-divine character could have a negative comeliness score. And it was basically your appearance, your visual beauty. And if it got high enough, which it could without magic, then you would actually just like charm people. People would be charmed by you just by seeing you. I can't remember what the negative stuff was. I think it was like people might just like attack you or something like that. They'd be like disgusted by you and stuff like that. Luckily, that is something that did not persist into 2E. I don't even know if a lot of people who play 1E these days even use comeliness. Here we go, we got that on. Now we get the top here. Alright, and then on there we get that. The elf with the 19 comeliness who has to drive away the hordes of low wisdom admirers. You've seen similar systems in video games, but you forgot what they were called? Well, so, some Dragon Quest games do have, a similar thing, except the monsters will just not attack for a round, or a few rounds. Like the charm stat. Or style, or something like that. Dragon Quest VII has that, 8 has that. Because it's a video game and the monsters just stop, you know, doing stuff, it's kind of like, whatever. Alright, that is right there. It doesn't feel as kind of gross as the 1E thing is. Okay, get that there. This goes right here. Like kind of when you separate you know, game from story kind of thing. Doesn't really make that big of a difference if you do something like that. I had someone not understand what I was talking about with the you know, game story separation, thinking that like hit points are game story separation. It's like, no, it is a game mechanic, but that's not game story separation. Yeah, I don't like it when that gets high. Or when that is pretty common and stuff like that. Alright, so spare parts. We got a black 3L bar, black and white 1x1 cylinder plates with hollow studs, black 1x1 cylinder plate with a cylinder tile with top peg, gray 1x1 plate flower, gray and white 1x1 plates, white 1x1 tile slope, and black 1x1 quarter cylinder tile. Like there's a 4th edition class, and one of its powers is to force enemies to attack it. But there's no explanation for why that happens. And obviously, you can make an explanation, but you shouldn't have to. The game should be telling you what this does. That is part of the game mechanics. And obviously, like, Kender have that ability in 1st and 2nd edition, but it's called Taunt. And it's specifically described as, like, you're taunting the enemy into being enraged at you. All right, yeah. There you go. You've got an explanation for why it works and why it does that, and there's a limit to what can be affected. You can't taunt, you know, a wolf. A wolf doesn't understand what you're saying, doesn't speak your language, doesn't have the mental ability to understand a taunt, so you can't taunt a wolf kind of thing. But I don't think there was any kind of limitation on that ability on that fighter, so you can't come up with a single thing. You know, you would be forced to come up with a different reason for, you know, every type of creature you fought. And I don't think that's good design on in a tabletop role-playing game. In a video game, it doesn't matter. It's just a video game. Especially if it's a thing where, like, you've got, you know, a Final Fantasy game where combat is, like, its own separate universe. Like how a target of a command spell has to understand you. Exactly. You can't command a wolf. You can't command a giant ant. Wolves are immune to taunt. You know, so there should be, you know, if you have a spell in the game, then there should be a description of what is happening when you cast that, you know? It's like, you know, a fireball is a big blast of fire. All right, oh, it works. What about Tella and his casting of Meteor? I'm not sure what you mean. What about it? I mean, we're talking about Final Fantasy. That makes a higher, you know, game story separation than a tabletop RPG should. That's teasing, not a rogue AI, not taunting. Couldn't normally cast it, but as part of a cutscene battle, he does cast it. Yeah, well, I mean, but like, I mean, that's still like, because you're entering the combat system. I mean, you could still use the battle system to tell a story. You know, a game with high story game separation can still tell, you know, can still use the elements that are normally part of the game to tell part of the story. And it's better when it does so. You think some consider telecasting Meteor at Golbez to be a story gameplay separation? I don't think so. I mean, well, okay, so it is in that you're overriding the mechanics to tell to aid the story. And so in that way it is, but the story of giving up your life to sacrificing your life to do this thing, I mean, it's a pretty common trope. It's not exactly a new, unique thing to Final Fantasy IV. Oh god, don't make me turn it. Okay, well that's going on here already, but alright, I guess I'll turn it. Okay, goes on there. I don't know, like, I consider that more telling part of the story through some of the game mechanics. Like, the Final Fantasy Tactics games actually have less gameplay story separation than the regular Final Fantasy games, because combat takes place in the same mechanical area as non-combat does. But I mean, like, you know, if I'm playing D&D and you know, the players are in a big fight, they're losing, and the wizard character says, "Hey, can I, you know, I still have some spells left. Can I Can I like say that I'm expending all of my spells to unleash a powerful blast on the enemy, and in order to kill them and save everyone else, but it kills me in the process? Oh, like, yeah. I mean, I might say yeah. That's compelling. It's changing the mechanics, but it's also fitting in with how RPGs work, because they are a storytelling medium. You have 255 strength, but you cannot move the tree across my path. Oh well. Yeah, that is very much story gameplay separation. When stats don't actually mean anything, and they're just numbers for deriving modifiers. All right, spare parts. A white 1x1 quarter cylinder tile is our only spare part. So bag number 25. I mean, of course, there are mechanics in AD&D to allow you to do that kind of thing. For example, if you have a Staff of Power or a Staff of the Magi, you can do a Retributive Strike. I can pick 95% of the locks in the game, but these ones are impossible because I don't have the key, yeah. Gameplay story separation. Whereas in AD&D, every lock is pickable. I mean, every ordinary lock is pickable. You do not have to get the keys. It's basically the idea of having a more simulationist. Oh yeah, I should probably should open up these other parts. What am I? Okay, so we're working over here. Okay. Hope I don't have to turn this around again. Dang it! Get back here. Trying to escape. I am going to have to turn it around. I'm looking at the parts. Definitely seeing things that are on the backside. Okay, I'm talking about like door locks, not like locks that are puzzle locks or something like that. I mean, obviously, yeah, there are certain types of locks where, like, you know, that are not pickable because they're not devices in the same way. That would be kind of handy, actually, Kinshir. I do have one. I could go get it. But I also think it would get in the way. Because she's lazy. Duh. Alright, so that goes that way. There we go, because we're working there now. Susan knows what she didn't do. That's good. Yeah, so like anything that is aiming to set you in a world, and the things happening there are real for the characters, then all of the mechanics should work within that world, kind of thing. Howdy, Bubba. How's it going? I have life, but I can't bring Tella back from the dead? What the heck? I have Esna, but I can't unpetrify these kids? I mean, at least they gave an explanation. Like, I appreciate the attempts in that, in Final Fantasy IV, to nod at the fact that players might be like, but I could just do this. I do appreciate that. That is good design. You love Reddit because you asked a Magic the Gathering lore question and got answers that boil down to just ignore it or hand wave it, pretty much. Sometimes that's what you have to do, yeah. I mean, I think an easy type, you can even have remedies by that point. It's like, why can't I just give her a remedy? Okay, there we go. Now we make another king statue. Reading a Lara Reborn Magic the Gathering novel, and your favorite character, Ajani, stated that he can't heal himself because his magic isn't self-targeting. And yet, in the latest story, he healed himself with his magic. Hey, maybe he learned. Did he actually say it's not self-targeting? Or did he at least say, I can't, it doesn't work on myself or something like that? See, I would get annoyed reading a novel, a fantasy novel, and someone's like, this isn't self-targeting. I'm like, that is wholly inappropriate language. So he actually used the word target. Like, that's what I mean. Like, did he use the word target? Which is not a word that would be unknown, but that is a very modern usage. It's extremely anachronistic. And yes, I know this is a fantasy world that doesn't actually exist. I don't care, damn it. I should probably play Paladin's Quest one of these days. Characters in the story shouldn't use game jargon. Exactly. Alright, black facing the back. There we go. And get that in there. Okay, then that is on that side. Nope, not there. Where is our... Let's see, there it is. All right. Are those rails used for doors anymore? Nope. I don't think they make those doors anymore at all, the sliding doors. There's two different types. There was the original 80s style, and then a later mid to late 90s style. I love those doors. They're both very interesting. The old style had to go like, it had to go like this. So like if you have a train car, it has to slide out this way. The other style, the later style, actually would slide together. So they were pretty neat in that regard. I don't think I have any of those though. The newer style, which is a shame. I do have some of the older ones, and I do love them. Now you can use the rails to, as rails with each other. I do have a set that did that. But again, I don't think LEGO's been using it that way, so... Which is a shame. They use them mostly for decoration because they're almost a half a brick. But yeah, you can do this. And basically the... let's see. Let's get that here. So it did this, and this would just go, it could technically come out, but it's very unlikely. But it would go like this and just slide in and out. And it was for a, like a car loading platform for a train. So like it would go out like this to the train with the car on it. The car would get onto the flatbed train car, and then it would slide back. It was a pretty neat set. I liked it. But yeah, I would love for LEGO to use these again for that. I would love them to make a new... either make a new or reproduce those old doors. Because they were very cool. But they don't make trains the way that they used to either. There is a new passenger train coming next year, and I'm interested in seeing what that looks like, but I haven't been that interested in LEGO trains for a little while now, actually. I love the old 80s and 90s trains. 80s and early 90s more so than others, but... Sigh. You miss steam trains? These diesel and electric ones lack the romance. Hey, the LEGO steam trains were pretty cool, too. I will say that, like, some of the stuff that they've made that hasn't really been LEGO train scale worthy kind of thing, like the Orient Express, that is great. Setting aside the fact that it's Harry Potter, but the big collector's edition Harry Potter Hogwarts Express was a pretty nice design too. Of course, it's basically just a red Orient Express, so... Yeah, and there's a lot that LEGO has Steam Train-wise, so... Love to see the monorail return. I don't think it would return like that, though, because that was very large mold intensive, and I don't know that LEGO wants to be doing large molds like that anymore. But yeah, the monorails were very cool. I didn't have all of the monorail sets, but I did have the best one. The airport shuttle. There we go. Selfie's allowed to enjoy her trains. Don't take that away from her. Wouldn't mind a newer iteration of the monorail, though. Would expect a LEGO fan to recreate the old monorail parts out of 3D printed parts. I do wonder if 3D printing is precise enough to do that. Oops. Okay. Because basically the way the monorail worked is that you had the monorail track, and then you had this raised part in the center, and the train went along that, and basically this raised part in the center was a double gear rack, and the engine unit, which was just like, you know, a motor in a cylinder, at the base has a small, probably more than 16-tooth gear, but it's about the size of a LEGO 16-tooth gear. And it would just push it along by running against that that gear rack. So I don't know if 3D printing could do that yet, but I'm also kind of surprised that there aren't any LEGO knockoff companies producing those tracks for the old fans and stuff. Like, you know, if they had new compatible tracks, you know, either the same ones plus some other things that would fit, you know, giving some other shapes. I might even get that. Like, I'm not interested in non-LEGO, but that might do it. That might do it. I suppose the fact that none of that is still being sold today keeps the market very low. And unless they're also manufacturing the motor and engines and stuff like that, you're really relying entirely on older people who are fans and have that stuff. So it would be a pretty niche market for some pretty large, you know, big outlays of molded pieces. One step closer to Star Trek replicators. I mean, there's definitely some food that I think you could 3D print. Like pizza. Alright, so spare parts. We got 1x1 tiles in white and gray, 1x2 half-cylinder tile in gray, and a gray 1x1 plate flower. Alright, bag number 26. I have a feeling that this is going to be on... We're going to be turning this again. I wouldn't say it's effectively a precursor. Just because I would say a precursor kind of needs some actual technology that's similar, and there's no similarities in the technology whatsoever. Alright, so that's that. Then we get this. Alright, Roval Jacks, have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much for coming on out. I've lost very little skin to LEGO. Yeah, but the materials are the problem. Like, you can't 3D print metal. You can't really, like, there's certain types of foods that you could 3D print, but you couldn't 3D print an apple. Like an actual edible apple. No, replicators are literally turning energy back into matter. Okay, get that there, then these two here. Like, until you can convert energy back into matter, I don't think you could claim to have something similar to replicators. Okay, and we're making another one below. E equals MC squared. Anyway, it would take a lot of E to make an apple. Right. That's the kind of what... I mean, that's the thing that Star Trek handwaves is that they figured out how to do that reasonably energy inexpensively. It's stated how the replicators work. There's an area where materials are stored on ship that the replicators use to make stuff. I have not heard that. That sounds like some newfangled changes. Alright, so this is new. 1x4 tile slopes. That is pretty nice to get. Alright, so this goes right... No, it goes this way. Right here. There we go. Alright, get these hinges on first. There we go, then the 2x4. I mean, if you can find me what episode that is, I will take a look at that. I wouldn't want to get the spoiled foodstuffs. Okay, yep. Now we turn it around. Bright eyes. Alright, there we go. Okay, there we go. 2x4. Brown log brick. Alright, that goes right there. Yes, they are considered giants or giant kin. There's 3 different types of Cyclops. You've got Cyclops, you've got Greater Cyclops, and you've got Cyclops kin. Cyclops kin are only about 7 feet tall. All right, there we go. Get that on there, and those 2 there. That goes under, and then we have a 1x4x4, not a window pane, because it's not used for windows. It's used for a kind of false roll door. And this goes right there. And this goes right here. There we go. So greater Cyclops are those, you know, Brontes, Arges, and Steropes. Those are the sons of Gaia, and the ones who made Zeus's Thunderbolts and a few other items, and they work with Hephaestus. Standard Cyclops are descended from primarily Poseidon, and then Cyclopskin are just not really in lore connected to the Greek pantheon. But I would probably say that they are. There we go. That goes right there. And over there. Alright. 1x4 tile there. And a 5L axle with stop. Slides through all of those. Because those are cross-axle holes, so that locks that in. Okay, and get this on. I'm guessing it's going to go on here. And that is correct. Alright, so spare parts. We got a black friction pin and a white 1x1 plate. Let's do another bag. This isn't even a very large bag. I would probably say that, like, Cyclopskin would be either, like, connect them to Voprock or Grolantor or Carantor. It's a good way of doing it. Okay, now 1x1 tiles. We get a black 1x4 round top. Okay, and another one. And another one. And the final one. Alright, now 1x2 round tops. There we go, and now 1x1s. You could also tie Cyclops kin into in with Groomsh. That would work well as well. Might as well get him mixed in, right? Cookie. I don't have any cookies right now. I do have leftover pizza, though. Make a nice, nice dinner tomorrow. C is for cookie. Pizza is like cookie? I don't think it is. I think there's some pretty substantial differences. I mean, I guess part of pizza is a baked good and a cookie is a baked good. But that's stretching it, considering that it's flatbread for pizza. Okay, so that is there. That one is there. Baked goods. I know, right? We have a great bakery near here. If my car wasn't having problems, I might consider going to get some donuts one of these days, too. They have great donuts. Oddly enough, they don't have great cookies. Alright, so there we go. And, 3 candlesticks. Sleeper awakened to your own ability to bake bread? Yeah, but why bake bread when I can just go to a place that makes great bread? Like, they're already making great bread. And I can also get donuts. Self-worth? My self-worth is not based on whether or not I can make bread. I have little doubt that I can make bread. Not saying that I could make good bread. I might be able to. I haven't tried. But I also don't really have a desire to. Because I can just buy good bread. Making bread is time-consuming, indeed. And the thing is I'm not a big fan of spending time in the kitchen. It is not something that I consider fun. Kitchen is where the food is, which is why you take the food out of the kitchen and go someplace else, rather than sit there for a long time making the food that you will just eat super fast anyway, you know? Trust me, I have thought about this. I'm not a bad cook, I just don't like to do it. It's close enough for government work. Your dog decided to lie on top of you. Luckily, he's not a big dog. Well, that's good. I do know some people who have lap dogs that are not lap dogs. All right. There we go. We got the tree. The white tree is a symbol of the realm of Gondor. So there we have it. Looks pretty good. And now we slide that in right there. There we go. I mean, when I have a good recipe, I can do some great cooking. But I really only cook when other people are going to enjoy it because I don't consider it worthwhile for me to do it. Like, if other people are going to enjoy it, sure, you know, that changes the calculus. I don't need to impress myself. I don't need to impress them either, but, you know, it's nice to do something for other people, too. You know, kind of like how I do nice things for you guys by, sharing with you wonderful games and wonderful commentary, you know? You know, even if those people are so ungrateful as to ask for less pepper. Alright, there we go. So we got one candelabra to make a second one. Oh yeah, here's a fun bit of trivia for everyone. I believe yesterday was the anniversary of the Gimli glider. It was a plane that lost all of its engines. I think they got struck by hail, but I don't remember for sure. Managed to glide to a safe landing. Relatively safe landing. At least everyone survived. That's the important thing. Alright, we're turning this sucker around again. Okay, so we got one of these back here. Oh, right, that was a miscalculation. That was a fuel miscalculation. There was another one that got hit with hail. I was reading other flights that glided. Jetliners that glided. Any crash you can walk away from is okay. Oh, and some of those that I was reading about, no one walked away. It was definitely interesting to see how many of them were, basically, like, so many of them were just, you know, human error. Which is a real shame when it also results in, like, mass casualty. Mass casualty event. You know, it's one thing like the Miracle on the Hudson, where they had a bird strike. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do about that. Yep. Luckily, they had water to land in, that's true. Although, there was one that I read about where it got hijacked. And the hijackers didn't believe... They wanted to go to Australia from Eastern Africa. I can't remember what country it was. And they didn't believe... The hijackers would not believe the pilot that they didn't have enough fuel to get there. And they had to ditch off of some islands in between the coast of Africa and Madagascar. Comoros, I think it was. But unfortunately, I think there may have been like a fight in the cockpit as they were going down, and like rather than go down like that, they ended up going down like that, which caused it to spin. All right, spare parts. What sparked the plane crash rabbit hole? Well, it was specifically planes that glided, which means like they lose all power in all the engines. And it was because of the Gimli glider. I was like reading the Wikipedia page, and down at the bottom they had a link to other planes that glided like that. And I was like, okay, gonna go down that rabbit hole. I love Wikipedia. All right, spare parts. Two 2L bars, one in white, one in dark gray with stop. Trans orange candle flame. Gold 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg, and a gray 1x1 plate flower. No, it was about, like, there are gliders which don't have engines, and that's all they do is glide. But a plane with an engine can glide. If it either turns off its engines or its engines stop working. A lot of them happen because of, you know, running out of fuel. But Sully's plane, bird strikes, wrecked the engines. There were some with hail. That kind of thing. All right. One more bag, then we'll do some minifigs. Don't look at me. I've been up for many, many hours. But I'm still ready to go. Oh, yeah, these. So, like, the thing is waking up early doesn't usually make me have to go to sleep early. It just, it doesn't doesn't work that way in my body. Just like I can go for until my normal sleep time, which is why like I'm not gonna have to do anything special next week. I'm not gonna like cancel the build stream. I'm not gonna need to go earlier or anything like that. It's just, you know, end it earlier or anything like that. I mean, we're gonna go until 4 or 5 a.m., which isn't that late for me, so. Alright, so we got this pretty cool peak slope angle here. Of course, with the sloped part, you can't really get it onto any regular slopes, but... And look at this, look at this. I gotta turn it around again. Alright. This is a computer that is only on when I do these, Lego streams. This is a separate computer. It is old hardware. It is my old hardware, the old hardware that I used for previous Lego streams and stuff like that. Just in a new case. I mean, it's just the normal ups and downs. I don't usually talk about the good things that much. I mean, I do sometimes, but... At the same time, good things are oftentimes for me, and I don't need... Whereas, bad things I want to complain about. Oh, you were making a joke about turning the build. Fair enough. Interesting that this is being forced outward a little. Howdy, Red Hyena. How's it going? Yeah, when it's done, I'm going to have to put it on its back and move it carefully to like get it to all show up on camera. It is going to be difficult otherwise. But yes, I do hope that most people, if not making it out for the whole stream, I can understand not being able to. I hope people can make it out for some of this stream. The charity stream next week with Zerfall and a bunch of other people. A bunch of other cool people. Okay, have I gotten everything on here? Yep. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, Bahamut. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will be party games and prizes. Okay, to lock it in there. Probably stop by after your Saturday gaming session. Awesome. You're unsure about next week's schedule? I understand. But we will be going for 12 hours. Like, we will be going much later than most of these streams go for you, so plenty of time to catch a stream that you might not, you know, and people that you might not otherwise be able to. Everyone has schedules. Like, I had to go get my blood taken today. That was a schedule. I scheduled that. That was a schedule. What will we be playing during this 12-hour stream? Lots of party games. I don't know what else. Like Jackbox stuff. TKO is always popular, primarily with the other people. But that will definitely be on the agenda. I don't have a 1x3, do I? Do I have an exposed 1x3 that I can grab? Yes, I do. Alright, these do match. There's a bit of an extra gap there that doesn't go all the way to, because it would just be really thin. So that's cool. Do they even have equipment to analyze dragon blood? I mean, we have blood like everyone else. So I love that we have left and right versions of these. That would be great. You thought I bled ham? No. You are what you eat is an aphorism. It's not a truism. I am not made of ham. I am a dragon. Dragons are not made of ham. That's why you shouldn't try to eat a dragon. It's bad for you. You are who you eat. There. This goes right there. That goes there. This goes right there. This goes right there. And this goes right there. All right. Anything else? Nope. Doesn't look like it. All right. That goes right there. I wonder if this is going to go all the way up, because it looks like it can. There's going to be parts that can pop off there. Raises a question: when a heroic party slays a dragon, what happens to all the meat? It just is left there because you can't eat it. All right, then we make a little building here. Okay. Spare part, a tan 1x1 tile slope. Alright, so we will be stopping at bag number 29, which is going to be one of these sidewall portions. Not sure which one, but probably something like... Actually, probably, yeah. Probably this one here, I think. Although it might be this one. It's going to be one of these two. Such an exciting bag. I mean, actually it is. There were a lot of good pieces in there. We got some good, you know, stone formation it's not exactly greebling, but it's the equivalent of greebling when you're building a rock wall thing. But yeah, I will be able to show it to you guys this way, because the highest it will get is this, which is pretty high, and these are going to come off, very likely. But, yeah. I definitely need to do some smaller things that are not going to cover up, like get all the way up to the camera and stuff like that. I need to do some more stuff like that, because this has been a little ridiculous. We've had a few things that are just way too big. Gonna have to affix a camera to my ceiling. That would be difficult. And then you would see all of the junk around, like, and I don't even mean like shelves with stuff on it. I just mean like all of the lights. Right now, one of the lights would shine right into the camera. All right. I do have lots of gifts with purchase and small sets. That's true. I don't know how much people are interested in a bunch of small sets, though. I need to mix them up. Try to find suitable things to build them with. Like, you know, I built the sea serpent castle set with this because, number one, I just got it, and I wanted to show it off, you know, so that people could see what it was like. Number one. But also number two, you know, Lord of the Rings is fantasy, medieval fantasy, so a medieval ship, it's a good match. I have a gift with purchase that's a little plain, and I have a big set that's a plain, so I might do those. You know, I've got some space sets. You know, like I got a space shuttle, so I might build some of the classic space gifts with purchase and with that kind of thing, so I don't know. But yeah, definitely need to do some smaller stuff. All right, we do have an ad break that is just about to start, unfortunately, but I think we're going to have to deal with that as we do some minifigs. As I drop something all the way down onto the floor. Whoopsie. Alright, narrow space. No, it's not gambling, it's just predicting. I don't need that yet. One, so we're going over there to that column. 4, 1, 2, 3, and a 4. And this is much healthier than stupid prediction markets that are actual gambling. Because this isn't gambling, because none of this matters. Alright, let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? Well, I move some things so I can try to get this back there a little bit more. There we go. Alright. 6. All right, so that is predicting another another Scotsman. All right, 3 for Bahamut. That would be the Easter Bunny. 11 for Not a Rogue AI. That would be the Hippie. A Minotaur maker of tightrope walkers, balancing poles, and a Leonin cook cooking cookies. Okay, I know what I said earlier, that a cook can bake, but you got to use the right term. A cookie is baked, not cooked. Don't question it. All right, get your predictions in. Let me get my timer up and ready. It matters to the D&D players on Saturday. I mean, they'll survive or not, and it's fine because it's all a game. You want him to use wordplay with the word cook? No, I refuse to let you. 3.5 has Cyclops stats, but no Cyclops kin. They got forgotten after 2E. Yeah, so what should you use to modify this here stat block for the smaller species? I mean, I would look at the 2E monster and compare it to other existing monsters. I don't remember their stats. Like, how big are the 3.5 Cyclops? 20 feet or 7 feet? Ish. All right, prediction has closed. We are on an ad break, unfortunately. So people will have to find out what 12 feet. Well, that's just like right there in the middle. That's just silly. All right, so prediction, and I will search the pack and go. Okay. 4.93. It really, really helps to get a very unique piece right off the bat. Okay, it has decided to move, but I felt like I picked it up and my fingers rested on a specific piece that is very obvious, the carrot. So we have the Bunny Man. 4.93. Let's find out if I am correct. I mean, honestly, like, I would probably say that the 12-foot tall one, Lord Canis, is the Cyclops kin, and go for and scale it up to be the classic Cyclops. It's not a record. We've had some that were in 4 seconds. I don't think we've had much that is faster than that, but we've had ones that are, like, this was almost 5. It's definitely going to be in the top 10. Maybe even the top 5. Well, yeah, almost certainly in the top 5. It might be the second fastest, but it depends. So it is indeed the bunny. You can see his tail. You can see his belly. Let's choose the outcome. That was most definitely within 20 seconds. Complete that prediction. All right, Bahamut and Red Hyena getting all the hams. Very nice. Lord Canis and Kinshare going for 20 to 50. No one went for 50 to 60. I really should have sandbagged. And Lel Bunny going for no. It's like the 100-meter dash. You can't go much faster. Yeah, exactly. I will say that it is the smallest piece that we've noticed immediately. Like, okay, it's not in this one, but with the next set, I will get it very fast if it is a certain specific figure. Probably. Yeah, it was a carrot. So it has a very unique shape. It is this, you know, it is a long cone. There's just, like, nothing else that feels like that. And it was literally like I picked it up like that. My fingers were immediately on it. I could immediately tell that it was tapered and not smooth as well. So, yeah. Just instantaneous. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in on this guy. Our bunny man. He is a happy bunny. He's got a little tail. This is a different bunny mold head. So we have another bunny to compare. Like, this one doesn't have a nose, a mouth, teeth, eyes. But this doesn't have decorated inside of the ears. So that's interesting. Yeah, it does kind of remind me of Ralphie too. I wouldn't have made that connection without you mentioning it, though. All right, so that is that one. Next up, Series 10. If I get the Medusa, that is one that is very, very, very easy to get almost instantly. Like, we've had one so far, but not this batch. It was a lot earlier when I first got the set. And I was, like, rotating between sets rather than doing a set until I was done. But that's an extremely easy one to tell. There are just very few pieces that big, for one thing. Same thing with the Centaur. A while back. A long time ago. All right, 4. So we're going down the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. D6 again. 6. Last one. There we go. Alright, start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Let me put the other one away as well. 2E says the Cyclops kin is 4.5 feet shorter and does the math on a calculator that math teachers always said we'd never have on hand. 716 pounds lighter than the Cyclops is described in this year. 3.5. 3.5. Yeah, I mean... Right, but so the Cyclops kin is specifically a more of like an ogre-sized, smaller, large, but much smaller. It's more on the human side scale of things. 12 feet is fine. I mean, you know, it's not that much taller than a Furbolg or a ogre mage. Whereas the Cyclops of Greek lore in D&D are 20 feet tall or taller. So I would just use that as the Cyclops kin and make a bigger Cyclops. All right, let's go ahead and roll the dice. 10. The Sea Captain. All right, probably not, because I think we've gotten everything that's in this column, but you can tell this is definitely not going to be the Medusa. All right, 4 for Not a Rogue AI. That would be the Amazon. 13 for Shield of Hope. That would be the baseball catcher. So get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? Go ahead and reset my timer. A Leonin Baker Baking Baked Alaska. And a Minotaur Gymnastics Balancing Beam Craftar. 5 for Bahamut. That would be the Brave. Oh, yes, I did see that. I missed that 5 up there. Thank you. All right, predictions are closed. And go. All right, let's see. What do we got? Okay, I know this piece. But what is it? Is that... that what I think it is? That is what I think it is. All right. 18.93. I was trying to distinguish between whether it was the wrench or the tomahawk. It is the wrench, so we have the grease monkey. 18.93. So let's go ahead and open it up and verify. And it is indeed the grease monkey. Ooh, that one's strong. All right, within 20 seconds, because that was 18.93. Let's complete that prediction. It's very close to going to 20 to 50. Let's see, who is getting the hams? Bahamut and Red Hyena getting all the hams. You guys gotta, you know, if you're trying to distribute, you gotta be putting it on something else. Lord Canis and Kinshire going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. I will say that the longer I have a set that I'm working on a set, number one, the fewer of them I've gotten, but also, you know, like I've gotten this guy 3 times before. This is the 4th. I get used to feeling the parts. All right, so we got our grease monkey. Go ahead and zoom in on him. It's got some back printing. I like the skull and wrenches. I like the chain on his belt. He's got a skull and wrench belt buckle as well. It's a great face as well. The shades and the mustache and the stubble. And he's got a flame tattoo on his arm. Only on one arm. And the classic pirate bandana, which I don't think is made anymore. Yeah, well, I mean, like, this is the pirate bandana, and this arm, yeah, give this to a pirate. It's great. Of course, the torso and the legs, not a match. That is the standard classic Lego wrench that has been in production for many a year. Going back all the way to at least, maybe not 1980. It might be like 81 or something. I'd have to go back and look. Well, no, actually it might be in the 70s. I'd have to go look. I'd really have to look. Definitely the early 80s, so it is over 40 years old at this point. All right. Let's go ahead and get our final minifig for the night. We are only missing one of these, so any time now we could be moving on to a different set. Would be funny if I got the bunny from this set. All right, so we're going on this side again, this column again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, rolling a 6 again. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. Can I guess it with a shake? Can I guess it with a die roll? Can I guess it with the weight? And we should probably pull up our chart. So we got an 11 for Nadaroge. That would be the lion. 1 for Bahamut. That would be the peacock. The only one that we have gotten all of right now is the koala. There is 1 left of the bottom row. There's 1 left of the crocodile and the frog. There's 1 left here, except for the monkey, where there's 2 left. So if we do not get the monkey or the Dalmatian, we're going to fill up another one of these with this. A Minotaur balancing scale maker and a Leonin dress designer for wedding dresses. Iogra's dice says 9. That would be the dolphin. It would be the dolphin. So if we get anything other than the monkey or the Dalmatian, we will exhaust one of these groups. No, not a dolphin. A dolphin. Olphin. Sheesh. Thinking that it's some sort of Prince of France. Get a monkey costume to go with the grease monkey. Serious faith in Ald according to the bets so far. This is one where the guess doesn't always get it. I had some really good, I had a really good run of guesses, but I don't know. All right, just a few seconds remaining. Get your predictions in. Your nephew spelled it dolphine once. It's a very fine dolphin. All right, predictions are closed. All right, let's shake it. All right, definitely hearing some extra pieces. I think that I am going to say, it's between two right now. I'm going to say it's the fish. Could be the frog, but I think it's the fish. I think it's the goldfish. All right, so let's roll the die. 6. I got to re-roll because it definitely can't be the 6. 5. Okay, all right, frog. Okay, let's weigh it, and let's see. 17.13. That is pretty close to the frog. But I'm going to have to go with something else. Just to spread out the possibilities. Ooh, boy, we don't have anything that's exactly 17.13 or really right on. So, if this is under, it could be the bunny. If it's a little bit over, it could be the frog, it could be the cat, it could be the monkey. I'm going to say the bunny, though. I feel like that's closer, and I think that these have been going under. All right. So I'm going to say the bunny for the weight. So let's see. Ho, ho, ho! All right! I was not expecting that. That is the Dalmatian costume. All right. We got it. This is the last one to do for this, this set. Darn it. But, Lil Bunny, that means you win. That is indeed the Dalmatian. All right. That is a no, because I thought it was the goldfish. The die said the frog. I went with the bunny. What is the Dalmatian? Okay, okay, so the Dalmatian, actually I didn't even look at the weight because I didn't think it sounded like that at all. With that weight, it's a little bit over, and it is closer for the Dalmatian than it is for the frog or the monkey, or the cat. I didn't even look at that. Okay. You don't like Dalmatians? Well, it's just a costume. All right, let's complete the prediction. That is no. So, Lel Bunny getting 29,000 hams. Bahamut, Red Hyena, and Kinshir going for yes with guess. Shield of Hope going for yes with die roll. Iugra going for yes with weight. But it was a no. I guess the tail should probably be up, right? I mean, dogs can't help it. Yeah, let's make him hot and tired. There we go. And we get a Frisbee. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and zoom in on him. Hot and bothered? I mean, he might be hot and bothered. I don't know. Might be ready to yiff. All right, here we go. So that's the hot and bothered face. That's a smirk. It is a dual molded head. We got printed dots everywhere. On the arms, on the side of the legs even. That's great. And having a Frisbee, of course, you can make a lot of Frisbees with just generic tiles with printing. You know, who hasn't had a Frisbee that has the Imperial logo on it, right? Right? But that is the Dalmatian. Have a good one, Bahamut. We'll be wrapping up here very shortly. All right, let's go ahead and mark that down. I'm going to have to put that one aside. Actually, I had that going not there, actually. Where do I have the old ones? All right. Oh, yeah, I'll put the old one over here. That's fine. Okay, where is... There's the new one. There we go. Say goodbye to the costumes, the animal costumes, because they are going into storage. We're not going to open one right now, but we do have a very, very fun set for next time. Full, untouched. Lovely orange. And lots of cool minifigs in this one. Really excited to get a lot of these. We've got a robot Tyrannosaurus. We've got a marine biologist. We've got a Bionicle fan. We've got a steampunk lady. We've got a Boba Tea fan. We got a trash monster. We've got a chocolatier. Maybe haunted. Maybe not. Don't know. We've got a tuba player. We've got a soccer player, which is by far the blandest of the lot. We got a cute witch who is adorable. We got Lloyd, I think, from Ninjago. And we've got a unicorn elf lady. A unicorn mount for a princess, indeed. All right. But that is going to wrap us up for this time. You can see the weights. They are pretty close. The heaviest is by far the elf lady because of the unicorn. She's not fat. Next one up is the witch. But we don't have any, like, there's only the one over 20. We don't have anything that's up to, like, 21. But that is going to wrap us up for this time. So get excited to see this coming next time. We will be back tomorrow for Spelljammer. We will be back in... Lego does need unicorns, and not just a small one. We'll be back on Monday for some more Dragon Quest VII. We will be back on Wednesday and Friday for more Lego. A week from Saturday, join me and a bunch of other people for Zerfall's charity stream. It will be a lot of fun. 12 hours, 4 p.m. Eastern Time to 4 a.m. Eastern Time, I think. It'll be going right after my Spelljammer game, so I will be raiding into that. I'm sure Lethal will do his usual pre-stream stream as well. So if you guys could come out for some of that, cheer us on, donate if you can. That would all be awesome. I hope you guys can. And I shall see you next time. See you then, everyone.